Welcome to today's deep dive. So when you walk into like a massive sports car.
Oh, those giant 160 screen places.
Right, exactly. You expect chaos in the room, but you absolutely want flawless order behind the walls.
Yeah, you really have to have it.
So today our mission for you is cutting through the massive 25-year catalog of AV supplier HDTV Supply.
And I mean massive.
It really is. We're looking for the unsung hero keeping those walls orderly. Specifically, the Vitec AVPLY-M M9305 media player.
Yeah, because if you sift through a catalog that ranges from, military-grade gear to these massive matrix routers,
Right.
zooming in on this specific VTech endpoint tells us exactly how modern AV deployment actually operates out in the real world.
Okay, let's unpack this. We look at the spec sheet. It has one HDMI output, PoE running the 802.3 AF standard.
Which is huge, by the way.
It's a game changer, and it has 32 gigabytes of local storage, plus an audio portal CAL is included.
Yeah, and jumping to that 802.3 AF PoE spec for a second, I mean, for an installer, that is everything.
Oh, totally. To me, PoE acts like a digital Swiss Army knife.
Right, because it's doing two jobs at once.
Exactly. It's pumping both the electricity and the data through a single cable, like a single vein.
Yeah.
So mathematically, you are reducing your thermal load, and you're basically amputating 64 individual power bricks from the failure point equation behind all those displays.
And that reduction in failure points, that's really the entire design philosophy here.
That makes total sense.
Like, take that 32 gigabytes of built-in storage. It isn't just there to hold static files or whatever.
Wait, really? So what is it doing?
It actually functions as a local cache, like a buffer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so if the main network switch hiccups for, say, 5 seconds right in the middle of the Super Bowl.
The absolute nightmare scenario for a bar.
Exactly. That local storage keeps the video playing seamlessly instead of, throwing a black screen to 160 angry fans.
That is such a crucial structural safety net. But okay, what about that audio portal CAL?
Right, the acronyms.
Yeah, suppliers just love throwing acronyms around. But how does a client access license actually change the deployment on the floor?
Well, it basically acts as the handshake between the hardware and the user experience.
Okay, I'm tracking with you.
So the RDO portal is Vitec's middleware. It's the custom interface that guests actually interact with on the screen.
Ah, got it.
And by bundling that CAL, or client access license, directly with the hardware, the installer doesn't have to chase down separate software licensing for every single endpoint.
That saves so much time.
Yeah, you just plug it in, it authenticates, and the portal loads up.
Right, so the POV, the built-in caching, the bundled licensing, it all basically eliminates physical failure points and deployment friction.
Exactly. It's all about smoothing out the install.
But hardware isn't immune to user error. I mean, here's where it gets really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because when a 64-screen matrix goes dark because of a software misconfiguration, you aren't really looking at the hardware specs anymore.
No, you are entirely at the mercy of the vendor's tech support at that point.
Which brings us to the human element, the actual customer experience at HDTV Supply.
Right. And they actually maintain an incredibly high volume of feedback, like over 10,000 positive reviews.
That is a lot of data to look through.
Yeah, and it's sitting at a 4.7 out of 5-star average. But if you look closely at the specific interactions, it reveals what buyers in this space genuinely prioritize.
Right, because I was looking at 2 specific buyer reviews from March 2026.
Oh, those were fascinating.
Yeah, so one installer praised the tech support for immediately giving them the exact resolution settings needed to fix this tricky 4K and 1080p 60 Hz conflict.
Quick and efficient.
But then another buyer left this hilariously honest review. They said the staff was, quote, less than friendly, but answered my question.
I love that one so much.
It's so real, and I honestly look at that and think, we have completely warped our modern expectation of customer service.
How do you mean?
Well, if you are sweating over a complex AV matrix an hour before a bar opens, do you actually care about a polite bedside manner?
Probably not at all.
Right, just give me the raw technical exactness of someone who can fix my 4K issue immediately.
Solve the problem.
Exactly. I will take the grumpy genius any day if it gets the screens back on.
And HDTV Supply actually responded to that specific review, by the way.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they apologized for the unfriendly tone. But your point really highlights a distinct reality in these high-stakes tech environments.
Which is?
That effective problem-solving fundamentally trumps pleasantries.
100%.
Like when the infrastructure is that complex, The friendly tone is just a bonus.
Yeah.
The technical exactness is the actual product you rely on.
Because that's what keeps the organized chaos functioning.
Exactly.
So for you listening, it really redefines what a successful deployment looks like.
It really does.
If you are building a reliable AV network, this deep dive proves that your true north isn't just about finding gear with clear, efficient specs like PoE.
Right. That's only half the battle.
Yeah, it's about pairing that resilient hardware with fiercely competent technical support.
Because the specs mitigate the predictable risks. But the human expertise behind the sale is what secures your system against the unpredictable ones.
Which leaves you with this final thought to ponder. We started by talking about the expectation of flawless order behind the screens.
Yay.
But in a world increasingly dominated by hyper-friendly, perfectly polite, but often completely useless automated customer service bots.
Oh, don't get me started on the bots.
Right. Is a slightly grumpy but fiercely competent human technician actually the ultimate luxury?